Making your butterfly fly from the side. If you've been following along with me, you know that in tutorial number 2 we created this butterfly. Now if you did not see that, then you can find that on YouTube or on my channel. I will also leave a link to the FLA for this below this video. Now to get started, what we need to do is click on this butterfly, go to break apart right here, and we need to go up here to the butterfly flying layer right here and add 2 layers, 2 layers above that layer. Now on the butterfly flying layer, we want to call this wing 2. Now the layer above it we're going to call body. Now the layer above that we're going to call wing 1. Okay. Now we're going to click on the body layer in the middle. We're going to go up to cut it out, and we're going to put that on the body layer. Paste in place. Edit. Paste in place. Now we're going to click on the left wing, and we're going to cut it. And we're going to put it on the top of it, wing 1. We're going to paste it in place. Edit, paste in place. Okay. Now you have a wing above the body and one below the body. Now, what we need to do is select all of it. Now I want to reduce it. A free transform tool. Hold down shift in one corner and push in. Make it about that size. Now move it down where we can get some room, like that. Now, click on it. Click on the whole thing. Let's select the whole thing. Free transform tool. We want to grab this corner and turn it. About like that. Okay, bring it down a little bit. We want to center it. Up a little bit, because we've got to stretch these wings out. Okay. Now that we have that, we want to click on this wing here, and we want to go up to modify, transform, flip vertical, not horizontal, vertical. Now you want to bring this pivot point down to this point. Now bring this up and place it here, and you want to swing it around till those wings are together. Okay, move them till they're on top of each other. It doesn't have to be perfect, but perfect would work. Okay, now click on the body and move it out. Just use your arrow key and move it out like that. Now I want to spread it out a little bit. It's a little thin. Just a little. About like that. Okay, now turn it straight up and down. Like that. Now break it apart. Break apart right here. Now go in a little closer where you can see what I'm doing. Now you're going to get your selection tool, which is V on your keyboard. And you're going to cut this right down the middle. Like that. And delete that part. Now, you're going to get an oval, and you're going to make that oval about the same size as this body. About like that. Let's see, about like that. Okay, now we only want the fill, not the stroke. So delete the stroke if you have it. If you don't have it, then okay. Alright, now take this and move it over to the body. Like that. Okay. Now that you got that, we want to, that arc thing where you go close and you get that arc, we want to pull it out right here in the middle, just a little bit, like that. Okay. Now you want to go right here near the back and you want to push it in a little. Maybe a little more. Alright, now I want to go in closer. Now I want to grab this top part right here of the oval and pull it in. Okay, anything in there like that, clean it out. Alright, now you want to click on this antenna and make sure you get the top part too. Free transform tool, bring this down to the bottom, and you want to flip it up a little, about like that. Okay, now you want to copy it, go up to edit, copy, edit, paste in place, and now you want to turn it forward a little, the second one. Okay, maybe a little more, just a little more. Okay, now we got our body. Now let's go down and look at it. That looks good. Now you want to get your selection tool and select it. Go up to modify, group. Now you want to turn it back at the angle that it was at already, about like that, and move it back into its position under those wings. Okay, about like that. Now let's go down a little where we can see it. Okay, that looks good. Now, in order to make it fly, we need to make these wings flap. So we're going to go out, we're going to go out to frame 4, and we're going to insert frames. Okay. Now, on frame 1, go back to frame 1, we're going to click on this first wing. You're going to get the free transform tool, and you're going to do what I do right now. Watch these moves. You're going to push it backwards, skew it. We're skewing now. Make sure that you're skewing. See, I'm not turning like this. I'm not turning it. I'm skewing it. Okay? You go close to it, you get that little thing right there. It's a skewer. See, you get that. Now you can skew it. Skew it back, not too far. About like, look at where I have it. About like that. Okay? Now, after you skew it back, you want to get this one in the middle and pull it straight down. Just a little bit. Look how far I got it down. Not too far. Okay? Now let go. Now you go to the other wing. Click on it. The pivot point is here. You want to bring it down to this point right here, in the middle where the other one is. Now you're going to skew this one forward. Okay? And you're going to bring it down about the same amount that you brought the other one down. Like that. Okay? Now, you're going to go out to this second frame, and you're going to insert, right here, insert keyframes. Okay? Now, you're going to click on this wing again, make sure the pivot's where it belongs, and you're going to skew it back a little more. Not much, about like that. See about how I got it? Let go. Now pull it down again. Okay? Same thing with this one. You're going to skew it forward, and you're going to pull it down. Okay? Now you have 2. You have 1, 2. Okay? Now you're going to go over and insert another keyframe. It's in the third one. Insert keyframes. Okay? Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to skew it again, back, and bring it down. Okay? Like that. Not too much. Click this one. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to skew it forward, and you're going to pull it down. Grab the middle one, pull it down. Okay? Now you should have 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Now you're going to move over to the 4th frame, and you're going to insert keyframe right here. Now, click on that wing, that first wing. Now this one, now watch what I do here. We're going to grab it here. We're not going to skew it. We're going to pull it all the way down. all the way down until it's down like that. Okay? Now you're going to skew it back. Okay? Now you're going to do the same thing to this one. You're going to pull it all the way down past the key, past that pivot point, down like here. Then you're going to skew it forward. Okay? Then you're going to lift it up just a little. You end up with something like that. Okay? Now let's test it and see if it's working. It should be flying. Alright. Looking good. I got a butterfly. Alright. Now let's make it fly. Now what we need to do is turn it into a symbol. So in order to do that, you click on this last layer, this layer here, all three of those parts, all three of those parts. Now you go to holding down Shift. Once you get those three done, hold down Shift and click the first one. Now you should have all of them. Okay? Holding down Shift, you should get all of them. Now you want to click on it, right click on it, right click on it. Go down here where it says copy frames, click that. Now go up here where it says insert new symbol. Now we're going to call this butterfly flying 2. We have one, now we have butterfly flying 2. Click on it. And now in this layer 1 right here, we're going to click on that and we're going to paste those frames. We copied them. Now we're going to paste them. Okay? Now you have your butterfly symbol. Now, I want to go above this layer 1 and put in another layer up here, right here, above those. And I want to bring out my symbol. Go into the library. Now you know that so click on butterfly 2 and bring it out. Now you're bringing this out above wing 1, okay? Just put it right there. Now we're going to test it to see if it's still flying. Alright. Okay? Now that we got that flying, we don't need these other frames here. These we can delete. Okay? Now you get something on the copy layer. That layer is just so I could make my page. Okay, now we're going to make this bad boy fly. So I'm going to call this layer butterfly. Okay. Now on this butterfly layer, we want to make it fly across the stage. So what we need to do is first make it smaller. I don't want it that big. So bring it down to about the size you think you would like to have it flying. And we're going to bring it over to about here. You can make it fly from either side. You can come from right to left or left to right. Doesn't matter. It's up to you. Okay. Now I'm going to make it fly. Now the first thing we need to do is put a guide. So let's put a layer above the butterfly layer. Now this layer is going to be the guide. So what you do is you right click and click guide right here. That gives you that T-square. That T-square tells me I have a guide. But the butterfly is not connected to it yet. So we need to do that. So you click on the butterfly layer. You click the layer name and push up and push in. Now you get that little arc and it's indented underneath the guide layer. Let's put the name guide in this guide layer here. Okay. Now, in order to make it fly, we need some frames out here. So let's go out to like 130. About 130 ought to do it. 130. Insert frames. All right. Now, on this guide layer, click the guide layer. We're going to create the guide. So we're going to use the pencil tool for this. You could use the brush tool, but I usually use the pencil tool. Okay, now this is your flight. You make it go any way you want. So have some fun with this. So I'm going to have it fly in and go up first and around and back down. Then around this way. Then back in this way. It's your flight. You do what you want here. Have fun. Okay, go up, back around and down, around and off. Okay? Make sure you go off enough that the butterfly is off the stage over here. Okay? You don't want it to stop while it's still on the stage. Okay? So now we want to put the butterfly on the guide. So let's blow it up. Alright. Now, in order to do that, if you was with me in tutorial number 2, then you already know how to do it. If you was not, then I'll show you. Alright, now, when you do this, you want to make sure that you click the free transform tool first. And that's the Q, because you want this pivot to be on top of this. You see this little thing right here? Little X, 0X. You want that pivot. See, it's up here or it was down here. You want it on top of this, right on top of that. So take it and move it to that space right there. Now, make sure that over here, snap to objects is on. See this little magnifying glass over here? I mean, magnet, magnify. This little magnet over here. You want to make sure that's on snap to object, okay? Now, you don't want this black line around here. That black line is the free transform tool. A lot of people mistake it and try to put it on the guide from this point, and it will not go, and they'll be saying, wow, you told me how to do this, and it doesn't work. That's because you're not going to the selection tool, which is the V tool, okay? Now that puts a blue line around it, and you need that blue line in order to make it stick to the guide, okay? Now you go and you click on that little X right there and hold it down and move that to the tip of that guide. Just to the tip of it, okay? Now, you want to put a keyframe at the other end also. Insert keyframe, okay? Because that's the end point. Now you want to go down so you can see all of it. And move it over. Now click on the butterfly and move the butterfly to the other end. Now go in close so you can see what you're doing. Now again, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to click that little dot. You're going to move it up to the tip of the guide. And let go. Now, on the butterfly layer, you're going to click on it, and you're going to create motion tween or classic tween. Okay? Now, let's test it and see if it's following the guide. Ta-da! You got a butterfly. Okay? Looks good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add a background and some music, and we're good to go. You can use that anywhere you want. Okay?
to make your characters walk and flash. With my free walk cycle template. The link is below.